Children, let me welcome you to a lesson in social studies through the Virtual Training Center of the Municipal Corporation of Greater Mumbai. This is a lesson under the Work from Home sessions, and I am your social studies teacher, Shraddha teacher. So, now let us see what lesson we are going to talk about in social studies. We will do the lesson in geography, which is lesson number 2 in your geography textbook. And the name of the lesson is Interior of the Earth. So you can see a boy standing there in the corner looking inquisitively as at what things are there inside the surface of the earth. Okay, we all know that the planet on which we live, that the earth is covered with water. All right, we have very less portion of land and more of water on the surface of the earth. So when you look at the earth, it looks blue in color. So we also call it as the blue planet or the water planet. So there are many things about the earth that you have learned in your previous years, isn't it? When you were in the 6th standard, when you were in the 7th standard, you have learned that there is a, you can say, net, or there is a network of imaginary lines on the surface of the earth, which is used in order to find out location of places on the earth, and this is called as the graticule. And the graticule is made up of the latitudes and the longitudes. Okay, so there are so many things about the earth that we already know about. We have learned in the lower classes. We have also learned last year in the 7th standard about the movement of the earth, and about the earth and its relation to the sun, the earth and its relation to the moon, and so many other things. Now, in today's lesson, let us try to go a little deeper, and let us try to see what is there in store for us in the interior of the earth. So, we human beings, we are only used to looking at the surface of the earth. So, we know that there is land, which we call lithosphere, there is water, which we call hydrosphere, and the atmospheric layer, okay, around the earth. So, we know about all these things. Let us try to go a little bit deeper. Let us try to dig in, and let us try to go a little bit deeper, and let us try to see what all things are there in store for us in the interior of the earth. Okay, so is the earth similar when you enter the surface of the earth, when you make a hole and you try to get inside? Just imagine now, okay, that we are going to dig a long big hole, and we are trying to get under the surface of the earth, and we are going to magically find our way towards the center of the earth. So, what do you think must be there? All the places, will they be solid, or will all the places that you go across when you're reaching the center, will the entire place be liquid? Will it be gas? Okay, so let us try and see now. Are there different layers, or is everything the same once you enter the earth from outside and you enter it into the center? Okay, so now children, we have learnt about rocks. Remember, when you were in the 6th standard, you learnt about rocks, and you also learnt that these rocks are formed due to the various movements inside the surface of the earth, and these rocks are also formed due to the volcanic eruptions. Okay, so we all know what are volcanic eruptions. There are certain big mountains out of which erupt, okay, once in a while. One, not always, once in a while. Some of these mountains erupt often, and so they are called as active volcanoes. Some of them, they erupt very rarely. They are called as dormant volcanoes. Okay, and when these volcanoes erupt, there is something which comes from inside this volcano. Now it is coming from inside the volcano, means it is coming from inside the earth, isn't it? It is erupting, it is coming out of the surface of the earth through the mountain, which we call as the volcano. Now, what comes out? We usually see that this hot mass called as lava. Can you see? It is so hot. If you try to touch it, you will burn yourself. So it is really red, hot, boiling hot. Alright, and this lava, it comes out of the surface of the volcano, the place where the volcano erupts. That means that even though the earth looks like it is solid from outside, there are layers which are inside the earth which are in the liquid form. Now, let us take a very easy example and try to understand it. Before we go, let us see. See this? This place is the place from where this lava comes out. Alright, that means there are various layers to this earth, and the layer that we see from outside as solid is not everything that is there. There are some places, or there are some layers which may not be solid also. So earth has got multiple layers. Okay, so we will see the names of the layers also shortly, but you can read them quickly over here. So see, the earth is showing you its layers: the crust, the mantle, and the core. Now the core is again divided into the outer core. See here, this is the crust, mantle, outer core, and the inner core. So you see how nicely the earth has shown us its various layers. Now let us look at a very common example, and let us try to see how these layers might have formed. Now everyone at home, we boil milk, isn't it? After you boil the milk, now this here the milk is boiling over. You should not allow it to boil over, okay? You should pay attention. Stand near the gas, and as soon as the milk comes up, that is, it starts boiling, you should put off the gas. After you wait for some time, after the milk boils and it goes back and it settles, and you let it cool for some time, you see something like this collecting on the surface of the milk, isn't it? On the outer surface. If you move this layer slightly, if you try to touch this layer slightly, you will realize that this layer is in the somewhat solid form. Okay, it is semi-solid form, but it is solidified. It is not like the liquid milk. Okay, so this layer of cream, we call it. It has become somewhat solid. So it has cooled first because it is outermost, isn't it? Inside, you will see liquid milk. So the scientists have guessed that this might be the process which might have happened when the crust of the earth was formed. So this layer of cream is like the crust which has become a little solid. Okay, so when the earth also went on rotating and rotating and rotating, because of this movement, it started becoming cooler and cooler. And then which portion became solid first? It was the outermost portion, which we call as the crust. Okay, so when the earth must have had its movement, when the earth must have moved, when the earth must have rotated, it must have revolved, somewhere or the other it must have started cooling down. And when it started cooling down, the outermost layer, like we saw the milk, the outermost layer of the milk became cream, isn't it? So the outermost layer, it started solidifying, and that became the crust. Okay, that became the crust. And now crust is what? The solid outer layer of the earth, which probably cooled first. Under the crust, then you had the next layer called as the mantle, and then you have the inner layer which you call as the core. But the core is again divided into outer core and inner core. Okay, now this is probably the layer which is still in the liquid form, the inner core. Okay, or the core is still in the liquid form. So this, children, if you see in short, was probably how the earth cooled and how the various layers came to be formed on the surface of the earth, or on the earth. So the outermost layer is the crust, okay, and then as you go in, you have the mantle. You go in a little bit deeper, you have the core, but the core is again divided into the outer core and the inner core. Okay, so this was about the three layers of the earth. Now let us look at an image from your textbook, and let us try to see how the thickness of the layers of the earth are. What are the probable thicknesses of the layers of the earth? So you have the crust, whose average thickness is supposed to be 30 to 35 kilometers. Now remember children, when I am saying average, it doesn't mean that everywhere it is 30 or 35. The thickness of the crust below the continents. Continents is the place where there is land. Okay, it could be 16 to 45 kilometers. Under the mountains, it could be 40 kilometers, and it is a thinner, that is, it is less than 10 kilometers under the ocean. But when we calculate the average, when we look at the average thickness, we could place it between 30 to 35 kilometers. And then let's talk about the mantle. So the mantle, it begins at a depth of 42 kilometers from the earth's surface. So imagine you start digging from the surface of the earth, and you go in 1 kilometers, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers. When you go to 42 kilometers, you will reach the mantle. Okay, now this image is an image from your textbook. So children, I recommend that whenever you're watching a video, you know which is the lesson and you know which is the subject. So you can please keep your textbooks open with you so that you can cross check, refer and understand the picture much better. So in this particular image, you can see it is on page number 12 of your geography textbook. It is diagram number 2.2 or figure number 2.2. Here also you will see the mantle. Can you see how the mantle is beginning? And then you have the upper mantle and you have the lower mantle or the mantle. Okay. Next comes the core of the earth. Core. When you say core means what? Core of an apple means the center of the apple. When you enter the apple, when you reach the innermost part of the apple, that is called as the core. Okay. So here core also means the innermost layers of the earth. The core is again divided into the outer core and the inner core. And then after you cross the core, you will come to the center of the earth. So when you have to reach the center, if you want to reach the center, you have to travel a distance of 6,371 kilometers from the surface. So can you see here? This is the surface, and this point here is the center of the earth. So this is in short about the three layers and the average thickness of the three layers. Let us move on and let us try and see the meaning, or let us try and see the description of the three layers. So the first one is the crust. Okay. Now the crust is a layer of solid rock that includes both dry land and the ocean floor. So the crust, you will find it is on the land also and on the ocean also. So here you can see a picture of the crust, the one which looks colorful, blue, green, yellow. So that is the crust. Okay. And the crust is the thinnest of all layers on the earth. So which is the thinnest layer, like you saw on the milk, you had the cream, which was a thin layer. So the crust is also a thin layer on the surface of the earth. Okay. Now the crust is also again divided into two parts, or we can classify the crust and we can put it into two parts. One is the continental crust, or the crust which is part of the continents, which we call as Sial. Now the Sial is a former name for continental crust. Okay. And then you have the oceanic crust, that is a part of the crust which is under the oceans. We call it as the Sima. Why is it called as Sial and Sima? It is because of the presence of certain minerals in these layers. So let us see. See, this is the Sial. Okay, S-I-A-L, Sial. Now Sial here means silica plus aluminium. So in this particular layer, Sial, you will see a lot of deposits of silica and aluminium. And this part is the part of the crust which is under the continents. Okay. Coming to the Sima, or the part of the crust which is under the oceans, we call it as Sima because here in this layer it is made up of silica and magnesium. Okay. So based on the names of these chemicals, or based on the names of these minerals, sorry, not chemicals, we have named them as Sial and Sima. So Sial is silica and aluminium, and Sima is silica and magnesium. Okay. So this is about the crust and about the two parts of the crust. This is one more image where you will be able to see the crust, the oceanic crust here on top, okay, the crust below the oceans, and the continental crust here below the continents. Alright children, so this was about the crust. Now very quickly, we have less time left with us now. Let us look at the next two layers also. So you have the mantle, which is the next layer of the earth, and see, this is the upper mantle here, the upper mantle, okay, and the lower mantle. So you can see the upper mantle is much thinner as compared to the lower mantle. So the mantle is divided into two parts, the upper mantle and the lower mantle. And there is one more thing about the mantle which is important, is that there are many magma chambers in the mantle. Okay, now these magma chambers are responsible for the magma or the lava coming out through the magma chambers to the earth's surface during volcanic eruptions. So in the beginning of the session, we saw how volcanoes erupt and how lava from inside the volcanoes it comes out to the surface. So this magma, this lava, it comes out through these magma chambers. Can you see? These are the magma chambers. Chambers means they are the kind of, you can say, passages. Alright. Now this mantle is responsible for many of these, the movements which take place inside the mantle. There are many endogenetic movements. You will be learning about endogenetic and exogenetic movements next year in the 9th standard. But remember, exogenetic movements means movements which take place on the surface of the earth, and endogenetic movements means movements which take place inside the surface of the earth, in these three layers, okay, like movement of the tectonic plates, etc. So now just remember that there are certain movements which take place inside the surface of the earth, okay, in the mantle, and it is responsible for such phenomena like, for example, volcanoes and earthquakes, etc. Okay, so this was about the second layer. Now we come to the last and final layer of the earth, and that is the core of the earth. So like I told you, if I tell you to find out what is the core of the apple, you will dig into an apple and you will get to the center where there are seeds in the apple. In the same way, the core of the earth is the center of the earth. Imagine if you enter the earth from the surface, and as you go in and in and in, first you will cross the entire crust, then you will cross the mantle, and finally you will reach the core. So let us see a small piece of information about the core. So the core starts from around a depth of around 2,900 kilometers from the earth's surface. So if you start digging, you have to dig 2,900 kilometers from the surface if you have to reach the core. And the thickness of the core is about 3,471 kilometers. So this is information about the core. The core is also again divided into the outer core and the inner core. Okay children, so this was information about the various layers of the surface of the earth. We talked about the surface of the earth. We talked about how the earth must have cooled and how the outer layer of the earth must have solidified. We have all learnt in the lower classes that our earth was a big ball of gases, okay, which because of the rotation, because of the movement, it cooled gradually. And how it must have cooled? The outer layer must have cooled first, and that is how the crust was formed. And then you have the mantle, you have the core, which you have learnt about now. Now we have time for just about this much today. So when we meet next time again, we might do something more in this lesson. Till then, let me say a goodbye to you from the virtual training center of the Brihan Mumbai Mahanagar Palika. Till we meet again.